Hello and welcome to another episode of The Writing Finger. My name is Subramani, and it's always a pleasure to talk about writing and reading. And who else but Ashwin Karthik, my fellow journeyman. And I must say that today we've got something very interesting to discuss, especially, uh, you know, why writing is such a dear thing to us, why we kind of celebrate writing so much. Is it because uh, uh, you know we have nothing better to do, or is this the only thing that we do, or you know is there that fire that writing kind of creates that fire that stokes the fire inside us? So we've got a lot of interesting things to discuss, and basically what we're going to discuss today is as people with disability, or as people with specific experience. I don't even want to put it I don't even want to drag disability into this, but as people with specific experiences, how writing has captured our imagination. Ashwin, how did writing capture your imagination? What do you have for us today?
First of all, Subramani, I would say that being part of this podcast with you is nothing less than a delight to me. I wait for opportunities when we connect and we have these very interesting conversations about writing and
Certainly,
life
same,
at
same here.
large. But coming back to your question, first of all, Subramani, I would uh, what attracted me to this wonderful maze, as you very interestingly put it, the maze of words that we traverse together. Is a game uh, that I started to play with myself when I was young. I it so it so happened that when I was maybe 5, 6, 7 years old, I would try to pen very small and very basic verses, or should I
Mm.
call them poems in my own way, and
You
is a game.
just here, I guess. But I know you
No,
write well. Your poetries are
so
good.
so uh, I would I would try and make those poems rhyme with every line with the previous line, and uh, the challenge w- w- was to uh, be able to find the rhyming word to the previous line, and I would find it very amusing and interesting to
Mm.
look for those rhyming words. And
For me, it is another, it's a very different kind of journey. I was in 1991. I just then lost my sight,
mhm,
and it was like entering into a fire of a building.
mhm,
I entered into my literature class for the first time, and then we started, reading this drama, Christopher Marlowe, and what else, everything that you can think of, all the great English language and literature, and with my blindness, but there I was, looking at multiple doors, this literature gave me access to. And then I started reading poetry, and it all made a lot of sense. And for the first time I realized I wasn't even an ordinary writer back then. I wasn't even qualified enough to be a writer. But what it gave me was the possibility that I
mhm,
can have access to other experiences of life. Because see, we live one life, and this is one experience. Okay, there's multiple sort of variants to this experience, but essentially it's one. But there are other experiences that you can access through writing. That's how it kind of attracted me.
Indeed, indeed, right? Because I also believe that through writing, I have, I have um, um, then developed this ability of, transforming myself or traversing myself into
Yeah.
a world of my own where I am the creator, and it gives me an opportunity to
Yes.
step into so many other people's shoes. And
Yes.
every time I write about a character in my story, I I have to I have to mm, become that character intrinsically, and I have to
Yes.
think and act like that character to bring in
Yes.
a natural transformation into myself, and that is when
Absolutely.
the writing becomes, you know, p- uh, interesting and worthy to read. It gives, and that is when
Absolutely.
the writing becomes, you know, p- uh, interesting and worthy to read.
You
Yeah,
mentioned interesting that you mentioned transformation, right? Transformation is basically uh, transition. Like like
transition.
I mentioned,
Yes.
there is a fire. You stand in one layer of that life. You have access to another layer, another
Mm.
character, another layer of experience. There's another layer of experience. So at least multiple layers of experience you have access to, and in that you forget the fact of your disability sometimes, right? That's what I mean by transition. Like you don't
Absolutely.
sometimes you lose the consciousness that, hey, I'm wheelchair bound, or hey, I have difficulties speaking, or moving my hands or whatever. You forget all of that, and you get into that guy who may be an athlete, and you just run with
Yes.
him mentally,
Yes.
right? And
Absolutely.
it's
And
so refreshing to do that.
yes, no, because we need to understand the simple fact that I might be somebody totally different in my real life, but what I portray in my stories, what my characters portray to be, are indeed the portrayals. I
Mhm.
I make them portray acts because we need to understand the simple. So to do that, I myself have to play or live those experiences, and then only will I be able to bring in that experience for the
Yes.
reader who reads my writing? This also has given me a very important life lesson, which is,
Yes.
you know, um, um, it has, I'm sure you would agree when I say that
Mhm.
writing makes the writer more compassionate towards the people who surround him or her, because when you write and read, you attain the ability to
Yes. Yes.
always uh, understand or analyze the perspective of the
The other
other
person, or multiple
person.
people. Yes.
Yes,
The other
and
thing about writing, Ashwin, is that, the simplicity of it all, the fact that it's easily accessible. You don't require, elaborate setup. For example, if you're a singer, you need to know the basic foundational grammar of singing, or if you're a dancer, you should know your posture and so on. But writing requires just that small thing, like a paper and a pen. In my case, although I'm totally blind, I did the earlier the writing part inside my head a lot of times. So it doesn't take much for us to write, so instantly accessible. And writing can be raw, right? I mean, you can do the polishing, the editing, all those things much later, but you can instantly put your emotions on the page. So that makes writing so endearing as a sort of an expression better than any other fine arts. Would I am sure you would agree with this.
Absolutely. And it is only a pen and a paper that you require as a infrastructure to write. But when
Yep.
you talk about any other fine art, you would require many more things like maybe an instrument, maybe something else, whatnot. But writing only requires the imagination that is within your or anybody's grasp and a pen and a paper to put your thoughts out.
Into it, right? So and also like you don't even have to be qualified. Okay,
Yes.
some people say that MFA or MA in fine, whatever. But I think we know the best of writers never did it or never wrote because they're qualified. Anybody can
Well,
write.
well, to certify that statement of yours. Again, not calling myself a great writer by any means, but
Yes.
I did not study literature. I am an
Yeah.
engineer by
Yeah,
qualification.
that makes you even a free, that gives you even a greater freedom to write because you're not bound by anything. You're not overwhelmed by the greatness of people who have written. I mean, you've read it, I'm sure. You've read it as a reader, as a connoisseur of writing, but it's not going to restrict you. But it certainly does in my case.
Well, that is one of the caveats when study journalism or literature for that.
Yes,
No,
absolutely. And I think this is a very interesting topic, and probably we will have to continue in a different episode. But to conclude all of this, I think I think we have taken writing like ducks take to water, right? I mean, it's so accessible, it's so intrinsic to the way we express because it helps us transcend disability. I'm sure you would agree with this.
I would more than agree, and I would also go one step further to say that writing transcends any boundary, not just disability. Because right there, as we have emphasized before also, that
Yes.
writing does not, you know, have to be done in a specific boundary according to any rule book. You can use any language,
You know
any
what?
format.
It's so true because you can create your own world. You can create your own damn universe. You see, you can do anything. I mean, you don't have to be, traveling in space, but you can write about space. You
I
can
would,
be in a different part of the universe or
I
whatever.
would like to end this episode
Mhm.
by quoting one of the most powerful phrase in Sanskrit, which is, I'm sure you know,
Mhm.
aham, aham, aham
Brahmasmi.
Brahmasmi, where it means that I am Brahma, right? I am the creator. And as writers and authors, we create a world of our own.
I think I would just say that in the words of I think it's Richard Feynman who said, a human being is a universe in itself. We are a universe and a speck in the universe. We are both.
That interestingly ties us to back to our roots of the Indian ancient culture, which
Exactly.
very scientifically says the same thing.
Exactly. We are a universe of materials and we are a speck. in the larger universe. So thank you very much, Ashwin, for this wonderful conversation. And of course, there's going to be a part 2 and 3 of what binds us to writing is forthcoming. I'm sure uh, you who is listening to this would be interested. Put down your comments about this episode. If you have your own way of understanding or connecting with writing, you can describe to us. And also, any comments about the podcast or any comments about the discussion, please put it in the comment section. And until we speak to each other next time, goodbye from me. I'm going to give Ashwin the last word. Ashwin, take it. You're the word man here.
Well, thank you again. I would only say till we meet next time, keep writing, keep thinking, and be safe, be happy. Because at the end of the day, what we do is just to be happy. Thank you. Bye
Absolutely.
bye. See you.
Bye.